Spoiler alert, watching this video will make you into a more creative person. So if you don't want to be creative, click away right now. Okay, so for the amazing people who stuck around, let's take a look at what creativity is and even how watching Harry Potter can make you into a more creative person. We have to start out this video with a very important message. No matter what you've been told as a child or as an adult, and no matter if you still think this yourself, you are creative. We are falsely taught this at schools, but creativity is not only connected to being good at arts, drawing, writing, or doing pottery. Creativity is defined as the ability to produce new and novel ideas. Therefore, if you are able to think, you are able to be creative. And now let's take a look at how you can become more creative in 5 simple steps. First of all, don't be afraid to disagree. Creativity is also connected to the ability to disagree and challenge the status quo. In order to fully tap into your stream of creativity, you cannot be afraid to question everything and disagree with others, even though it might lead to a potential conflict. Secondly, make an effort to persevere when faced with setbacks. Another important thing to keep in mind is that creativity also requires the ability to persevere. Let's imagine a writer working on his latest novel. Do you know how many writer's blocks he has to live through? Of course, he doesn't give up on finishing the book with the first sign of trouble. Difficulties are a part of the process. At the same time, know yourself well enough to know when it's time to take a step back. For example, our writer friend here knows this, and he's also able to step away and return to his writing with a fresh perspective. This is a great tip for increasing creativity, taking a step back and knowing when it's time to switch off. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to take your mind off the problem, take a walk, or sleep on it. Tip number 4 for increasing creativity: embrace uncertainty. Creativity is actually one of the most sought out skills in today's professional world. But although creativity as a concept is often praised, when we're faced with creative solutions, we are actually very likely to reject them. We all have the need for certainty, and change is something we need to adjust to. Creative solutions trigger the feelings of uncertainty. They require us to take a risk that we're often not comfortable taking. So that's why learning how to embrace uncertainty will give you a more creative mind. And what does Harry Potter have to do with all of this? Now we've come to the last point: using the power of magic. A group of psychologists worked with a group of 4 to 6-year-old children. The kids were split up into 2 groups, and they were shown 2 different 15-minute clips from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. One clip with magical scenes, the other without. Afterwards, the children were given a creativity test. The psychologists found that the children who watched the magical scenes scored significantly higher on the creativity test. Magical thinking gives children the ability to think outside of the box. They began to think outside of the realms of this world. This study suggests that books and videos about magic can spark children's imagination and increase their ability to think creatively. That's why the last tip for increasing creativity is to use the power of magic. This doesn't have to be specifically Harry Potter. It's the magic element that matters. That's why fairy tales and storytelling is so important, not only in childhood, but also throughout our lives. So whatever problem you're trying to solve, whether it is in your personal or professional life, think outside of the box. A little bit of magic can go a long way. So going along with this magic element, now we'd like to hear from you guys. Do you have any tips for any magical stories, books, or films which can help us become more creative? Let us know in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the Iconic Psychology channel for even more psychology insights, and we'll see you next time. Have an amazing day. Bye!